They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 238 of the Magic Guys. It's me, Josh Norbito, but up above, we've got Nick K.
Hi, I'm Nick K, and next to me we have...
Salutations, Douglas Kahn, live from Sin City.
Oh yeah, baby! And I'm
Daddy's
Josh Norbito,
home.
and Daddy's home. Everyone's here. We're back. We're united. And this is, of course, is the podcast where us professional, busy magicians want to chat with you, share our stories, whimsical tales, and interview guests sometimes. And other times, we want to jam on your ideas, which is what we're going to do a little later today. But Doug, we haven't seen you for a minute. How are you? You've been enjoying some time with the lady and some other endeavors. What can you tell the people?
Yeah, last week, the significant other, my better half, my best friend, said, hey, we need to do some us stuff. So I did that last week. We were running around enjoying the Nevada scenery. We went out to Red Rock Canyon, Chef's Kiss. It's so beautiful out in the Nevada mountains. But more importantly, on Magic Note, I saw the Ehrlich brothers last Friday. And the German duo was in town, as were just about every magic luminary in the near vicinity or in the far vicinity. This deck I'm holding came from Japan. A couple of luminaries. It was Cyril's assistant hero and Ryoto. He's a TV magician. They came in just for the show. So they were in the shop Saturday. We could talk about the Ehrlich brothers all you want. They threw it down like unlike any magic show I've ever seen.
Well, a lot of folks haven't heard them before. Like I came across their material one time where I was watching some YouTube vids and it automatically rolled into one of their shows. And they are they're hella funny is the first thing I want to say about their level of performance. Like their comedy game is really strong.
It is.
Well, before that, they're freaking rock stars of magic. Like they're making gigantic $1 million props, right? Like instead of a car.
It is grand illusion on the grandest scale. I would say the only thing that compares would be Franz Harari, some of the things he's done.
Which makes sense because I saw Franz Harari talking about them and saying he actually helped design some of the illusions.
Not surprised. Their production values are off the chain. The amount of pyro in this show is literally unbelievable. And there's glitter, flames, sparks the whole time. And boy, I would encourage the listeners to go to YouTube and find their show. It's on YouTube. There is an effect they do with candy that is maybe a top 3 magic moment in my life. This production they do, I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it. It's just, so good. Go watch the Ehrlich brothers from Germany. They're on YouTube. You can check out their jam there. You know, in Germany, they had scenes. They're performing for 40,000 people in arena shows in Germany.
It's crazy.
So the cool thing is like, you know, when we talk about like the grand scale of things, when you do go to Vegas, you will see a very, very nice theater, if you will. Like how much do you think Copperfield's show would hold? 200, 300?
Yeah, maybe 1,200, maybe 15, maybe.
In Copperfield's?
My understanding is some like Matt Franco's theater holds 12, so I think it's the same ballpark.
That's a big one. Yeah, Matt's is massive. Whereas these guys were in an arena that's ordinarily used for, like it's like a horse arena?
Yeah, something like that. It's for like, rodeos and such, maybe. It's not quite like basketball size, but so they cut that thing in about half and filled it up. It was great to see all the families there. Sometimes people like to say magic is dead, but guess what? It's not. Man, there was like 1,000 families there, mothers and fathers with their kids. And I know they had a great time because that was a great show.
Yeah, I mean, that just goes to show how grand that scale is, because a lot of times when you see people buying illusions and so forth, like, things of that scale, they're not sawing someone in half or something as basic as that. They're going large.
Yeah, they were levitating Ferraris. There was a vanish of a four wheeler. Boom, boom, the four wheeler vanished with both of them on it. The opening number was astounding. Production of a motorcycle from essentially a large iPad. And you need to see
Whoa.
it to appreciate it. But this thing, they were on the iPad. The iPad swiveled. It's super thin. It swivels back up, and then they drive out on the motorcycle. It's like, hello, that was amazing.
That's
And,
phenomenal.
and then pyro and sparks, and we're off to the races. Quite an
Wow.
experience.
Yeah, we should. How funny would it be to get them on the show? We'd have so many questions, like, because people operating at that scale, like, you could count on one hand who could actually achieve anything at that scale. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
look,
yeah.
Dynamo did an arena show here in Melbourne, right? And it was after the very first time that I'd gone to Vegas. It was many years ago now. But his show, on the scale of things, compared to anything you would walk into off the street on a Vegas strip, did not even compare. Like, Dynamo show was like down here compared to anything you would walk into off the strip. Like, Matt
Yeah.
Franco's show slaughtered it.
Well, essentially, Dynamo's a television magician. So you try
Yeah.
to transition into a big arena show from there, good luck. And I would imagine the Matt Franco show, which I love, probably wouldn't have loved as much 10 years ago as he transitioned, although he was a college performer, so he knows how to work a stage.
Mm.
But I'm sure developing a big scale Vegas show took, a couple of years to get it, fine-tuned. But yeah, what are you going to do for 40,000 people? I'll tell you, I give these guys kudos. Like, there was a lot of great one spots. The guy did one of the brothers did a bill change routine. It was a good 8 minutes, thumb tipping a camera, and the guy's got 4,000 people entertained with the $100 bill routine. So it didn't need to be grand illusion. Sometimes just knowing how to project yourself onto a video screen is acceptable in the modern age.
And it's an exceptional skill to have to try and play something at that level. A lot of times when you're doing things of that nature, because like we have, for example, what we perform in regularly, we have a 50-seater theater that we performing regularly, both Josh and I. In fact, we performed just last weekend. The scale of which you can do things in there is pretty nuts. I mean, Josh does this beautiful routine just with a Sharpie pen, which a lot of my friends were talking about. I'm like, he did the thing with the pen? I'm like, I know, how good is it? And it was just like, it just goes to show, like, with a single pen, how well that can play to a big room. Like, it is, the notion of packing small and playing big is very interesting. So, for example, like, I'm going to show you this little black box here. This is my lottery prediction routine. Everything I need is all in this. I've been working on this routine for years, and I'm going to try it out for the first time on Wednesday. This immediately say that again. I'm going to try out this version of it on Wednesday. And this is what it packs into. Like, this is the whole routine. Like, the whole prediction's in here. So even like, it's going to be, all I got to do is just put a red bow around this, and the routine is ready to rock. But everything
For those of you who can't see Nick at home, oddly enough, this is a 6-foot square box with a big red bow on it. Now, what is that, about the size of a card box? You got a full scale?
I would say like 2 card boxes. 2 card boxes. That's yeah. 2 playing card boxes. And that is a whole routine that's going to be able to play enormously. And I've run this idea past Josh and bust a bunch of others, and I have one of 4 ways to present it. I don't know which is the best way just yet, but I have a time restriction that I have to keep to on Wednesday, so I'm going to perform it in a version that is going to keep it within a 5-minute bracket, which is a very big routine. But it's just that notion of like packing small, playing big, and rocking someone's world with a lottery ticket. Like, it is quite fun.
That's
Knowing
awesome.
you, that routine is a smoker. Oh,
You know
baby. I know it.
Yeah.
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 Man. Hey, a new feature of this streaming software we're using is that when we talk about things like our merch, I think, Nick, thank you for putting this up if you made this QR code, but they allow us to use QR codes now. And so in the top left-hand corner of our screen right now is a QR code. It'll take you straight to our store. If you want to pick up a sweet shirt or a mug, or lessons with Doug are available on there, and Nick, myself, the beanie. I think it's time for a new design post FISM now for a shirt, and so we'll slowly, tweak things on there. Look at that, bam! How crazy is technology? Hey, the fact that we can do
I
that
was
is
using that
insane.
last week from the Trick Supply. What a great innovation from the StreamYard people who continually are doing a great job on making their product better. It's perfect for a retail stream.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for selling products online, the whole
Yeah.
TikTok shop and live shop and things like that.
It's a
100%.
good time to be alive.
Yeah. And speaking of buying stuff, shout out to our friend Scotty P contributing $10 to the Magic Guys podcast.
Thank you, Scotty P.
Let me just add that to the bank. Hang on. There it is. We got it. Brother, thank you. He wrote, "You guys are helping shape future magicians." Well, hopefully we're shaping them in a nice shape, I think we are. But thank you, brother.
Yeah, we certainly do. We do that with as many ways as we can, either through like the interviews we do, the trivia, anything we do to educate you guys. And I guess today will be our main focus is about kind of helping you guys work on whatever you guys want to work on, which is why we have the spitball the ideas we have. In fact, some folks in the Discord were saying, like, when are we going to get back to working on our stuff? And we had been working so hard to get folks that we'd met along the way of our FISM journey. And of course, that's the door. You take it from here, Josh.
Oh boy, here's the 10 pizzas I ordered. So speaking of Scotty P, he actually built this stinger that I'm going to play. So let's roll our Spitball segment. Spitballing.
That's so good. That's so good.
You still have time right now if you want to add a spitball. Just go to the magicguyshow.com, which you can just use that QR code that we had before. Let me pop it up on the screen again. That would make sense. If you scroll down in there, there'll be a button just to leave a voicemail. I'll try and vet some of them, but you can still do that live right now. And unbelievably, you guys are feeling so generous today for some reason, and thank you. We got Herbert here coming in with the $15 Australian contribution.
Thank you, Herbert.
You guys are wild. This is what happened when Doug. This is what happens when Doug is on the stream.
Is Doug showing cleavage and we're not aware of it? What's happening right now?
You guys are crazy. You're crazy. Herbert, thank you, my friend.
Oh,
thank
I
you.
thought this was going to be exciting.
For a $50 donation, Nick will do the rest of the podcast without a shirt on. I'm just going to put it out there. If another $50 comes in, he might zoom in so you only see his face, but he will have no shirt on.
For reference, I do every show without pants.
Yes.
And from here on out, we'll be known as the Magic Hose.
Yeah. It would be funny if we actually have a list and we're like, we'll do this throughout the pod if you hit this tier. And I don't know if that's too much, but it's possible. All right. We just ran the stinger, but so Nick gets to see it again. We'll officially run the spitball stinger. Here we go. Spitballing. Yeah, that's so fun. All right. Coming in hot. Now, Seth is our first big pipe. I have not listened to this because it only just came in this morning. So please don't let it be profanity, Seth. Please. Okay. I'm going to look at Nick for the volume.
I hope it is profanity.
All right. Here we go. I'm looking at you, Nick.
Okay.
Hey, hope y'all are doing well. I was hoping you could impart some wisdom to help bridge a disconnect in my brain, I guess. I was at a gig a couple weeks ago doing my thing, and a guy saw me and he said, "Hey, I've got an event coming up this day, this time, and I can pay you this much. How does that sound?" And it was more than double what I normally charge. So obviously I was like, yes, that sounds great. And on one hand, he saw me doing what I was doing and thinks that I'm worth that much, but also some imposter syndrome is settling in. And also, I feel like because I'm getting paid more, it's like I need to do more. Although he's already seen me, and it's enough. So I'm not sure why I'm like I realize that, but also I'm having a hard time. So I don't know. Any thoughts? Cheers.
Welcome to the big leagues, buddy.
Great
Where
question.
almost every time you go on stage, you will have that imposter syndrome. Like I can't tell you how many times I'm like, do I even know magic? It is gonna happen.
Let's break it down.
Yeah. So
you've been offered more than what you would normally charge.
Yeah.
How do you approach that, Nick? If someone throws a quote at you and it is more than what you would normally charge?
Well, let me answer it with a question. How many times have you done an event and they go, whatever they're paying you is not enough?
Sure. Yeah, it's
right?
a good piece of feedback.
Yeah, it's it's like I can't tell you how many times I've performed and they've just gone, give this man a raise. Like I work for a wage. This is just a reflection, right? Quite literally, of this person saying that, like, I think you're worth this, and that's great. So if you're undervaluing yourself, that's a little self-realization that you should sort of take to now. Now, whether or not you can actually get those dollars is one thing, right? Look, we have some clients that that can afford a full rate and afford to pay you double what you're worth, 100%. And there's lots of clients out there that don't. Now, if you put yourself in a realm where I will only go out for $10,000 a gig, I'm sure you got that once. You might have got that once, but good luck getting that every single time, you know? So I think that there's nothing you need to worry about, and you shouldn't feel any pressure because of the price that's coming into it. However, I have mentioned in the past where we have like two types of like performances. One, we have like a standard rove and a premium rove. And a premium rove is where you might do something where it actually costs you money. So you might use consumables like gaffs that you can only use once. You know, you might use, I don't know what type of gaff it might be. It might be like something that from a deck where you get like 12 gaffs. And after those 12 gaffs, you got to spend $30 on buying more. That might be one thing that you might want to consider, just to do a value add. But seeing that you are getting paid extra, it is a good opportunity for you to start pursuing something. One or two, I wouldn't go overboard, but just maybe one or two things that you wish you could have done, but because there is a cost associated with it, like an anniversary card. Thank you, Tim Askin. Like an anniversary type gimmick or whatever else, that if you wish, if you had the disposable income, you would put that into your show. This is a good opportunity to try that. And that is my advice. But if a guy's saying that you're worth it, chances are you're probably worth it, buddy.
Yeah, look, my thoughts are we always undervalue ourselves, always, because we're scared to charge what we would like to make. And instead, we charge what we think people will pay. And every year when I up my rates, not every year, but most years, like when I up my rates on my packages that I offer, I'm always surprised that clients pay it. And I'm like, oh, well, why didn't I do this, 5 years ago? And it's just because we never had a prompt to try it. And I would take this as a prompt, as someone saying, oh, you actually are worth this much, even though you don't realize you are. So now there is kind of a trust you can build here, which is not to just jump straight to the exact amount that they've just said they can pay. Like there's something to be said about increasing your rate, but maybe not like to the full amount they've said. So they still feel like you're not trying to just take them on a ride and, oh my God, how did I guess his exact rate? And the other thing is, you could offer packages like we were just saying. So you could be like, my 2-hour rove is this fee, my 3-hour rove is this fee, and then for this extra amount I can do like a little 5-minute bit just for everyone to watch, which could just be literally invisible deck, but it's like the whole group can watch that happen, as a little value add. But I think it's a sign, man, you're taking too long to put your prices up. Doug, what have you encountered with this kind of stuff? I mean, busking, right? People are literally deciding.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Going from the busk to a big number is sometimes a jump, because you're often viewed as like a street person, when you're street performing. But I think where the win here is, and this works on the street or anywhere, that you can do direct marketing to contact a client who wants you. And when people want what you do your way, they're going to pay more, or at least willing to pay more for it. And I get it. Really, it's just a congratulations on finding maybe your first step to doing more of that for yourself. So, as opposed to being the generic magician that shows up, now they know they want Seth Howard at their event, and they'll pay more for that. So.
That's it.
You know, there's another thing that I'm sort of reminded of in a song where they're talking about a farmer, and the farmer was saying how like there's like Mother Nature and Mother Earth, and like those are 2 of 3 things that let him dictate what he's worth. And I thought that's interesting because you can be an amazing farmer, but just because you don't yield, like you yield 200 tons of wheat instead of 400 tons of wheat, does that mean you're any less of a farmer? You know? So there's certain things out there that are going to dictate what you're worth, but deep down, like you're going to be an awesome farmer. So whether or not people are willing to pay you the big dollars for what you are worth, like doesn't mean you're any less of a magician. You're just getting a nice yield for a change. So make that hay, brother. Make that hay.
Yeah, the clients are out there. Good magic deserves the money. Just be a good magician and make that bank.
Yeah. And put out
Be a good
content,
person.
goddammit. People need to see you to be able to book you. All right. All right. Moving on.
Tell them, Josh.
Yeah, buddy.
I think one of the best bits of advice you've ever given on this podcast, and I'm going to spit it out again, was you need to be seen working in order to get work. And I think that is probably like the best thought process that have ever influenced me on this podcast.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Like if I can rant for 2 seconds, like there's no quantifiable way to tell like what piece of content helps someone book you, especially for me, because like I'm putting out content every day. But what I do know is that my calendar is fucking busy. Like this coming Christmas season, which is always our goal to book in, and you'll normally make a big sum of your earnings in that sort of end of year portion. Between just us friends listening to this, there's like dates in there where my calendar has like 5 figures worth of gigs for like 3 of the weeks in November and December already. And that's insane. Coming from someone who just wanted to do magic, like, because I love doing it. And these aren't people who are hitting me up on Instagram because they've seen my videos, but like sending that out to the ethos is helping because people are inquiring, but then they might also check out my socials and be like, oh yeah, he's regularly doing stuff because it goes up every day. All right, let's do it. Anyway, it all helps. I'm just saying, if you're sitting at home going, oh, I wish I had time to make content, like you're just not giving yourself your full advantage to.
Yeah, it's officially a necessary evil for a modern professional to have a presence on social media. And the more of a presence, the more money you'll get. So you're already late if you haven't started.
And it doesn't have to be you sitting to camera doing a trick. Like you can find other interesting ways to storytell what you do. Anyway.
Organic's the best. Just film your shit. Get out there and film what you're doing and share the fun moments.
Yeah, document, don't create. If you don't have time, just document what you're already doing. Easy peasy. All right, our next. This is going to be fun. Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you, Seth.
Like, I hope that helps. And if you need any more advice, again, we have a Discord. Just drop us a line and put it in the podcast chat realm, and we'll discuss it further if you need any more help.
Yeah,
also, I'll take your gigs if you don't feel worthy. Send me the fat checks, and I'll be happy to show up and take the money.
That's what I'm talking about. What a kind guy.
I'm here for you, Seth.
Our next speak pipe comes in from a past guest of the show, a wildly controversially fun magician in the magic realm, and it was a nice email to see come in. This one comes from our boy Jack Grady.
Hello, magic guys. My name is Jack Grady. Hi. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. So here's a routine I've always wanted to do. So I wanted to go out on stage and say, it would be a 2-man act and say, I have the power of synesthesia. And then I would be blindfolded. A paintball gun would be loaded up with different colored paintballs. And as the paintballs are shot at me, I would be able to call out the color. Like I'd be shirtless on stage. The paintball would hit me and I'd go, boo! And yell out in pain. Did that make sense? I hope that made sense. All right. Thank you.
That's such a good idea.
First of all, how hilarious and like on brand would that effect be? Wow.
That is such a. Oh, I hate how good that is.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
That's such a good idea, Jack.
And
I
also,
mean,
like,
that nose peek would be go-to. You know, you could just do a cheap blindfold, peek down your nose, and see what color hits you. That's a starting point.
You have any idea how much those hurt, Doug?
Oh, I'm assuming Jack's into that, so he's probably doing it for fun.
yeah, he hides bottles up his ass. So, like,
Yeah.
that's his realm.
He's like,
you know?
this is a good time for me.
Yeah. And maybe there's something to be
admit-
said about making softer, gimmicked paintballs, perhaps. So let's think about it. So that's great. So the peak means you don't have to control anything about the gun or the loads or anything. The other thing that comes to mind is like, is it possible to, similar to how you pour water into a glass that turns to wine, like is there a substance you could put on your body that different sections, so the paintball, inside the paintball is actually a clear thing, but when it interacts with the oil on that part of your stomach, it creates the illusion that a blue one has just hit you. Is that an option? Because then you know if you get hit in the pec, oh, that's yellow. You know, boom, your belly button. Oh, that's red.
I have the finish for this trick. At the end of the trick, you take out a prediction which has the colors on your body.
Like a voodoo.
Damn. Yeah, it's the fucking, you could do that, you know?
So now we're going into the, what's that effect called? Normally it's done with the pens, right? And it's
what's a voodoo?
You know, what made me think of it is it's Chris Kinner's routine. Chris Kinner did this thing when he was on tour with Copperfield. He put a Velcro suit on, stand there and have people throw balls at him. And then he would take a prediction out and show where he predicted it. Nick DeFott is actually performing that routine currently, courtesy of Chris Kinner. It's in Nick's act. It's just what's next, you know, with a doll on it. But if you make the dots colored, now you can predict the shots. One of them will always. Go ahead. I was going to say one will always be a dick shot, but I didn't say that.
Exactly. But I was thinking that, like, it could be, you know, the paintball gun's a great idea and all. I know that like legalities prevent us from doing it here in Australia. I'm not sure what the legalities are using a paintball gun on stage in the US, but you could certainly.
We encourage live ammo here, actually, in lieu of the paintball. We'd be
good to know. But
can you go bigger?
Well, you could possibly do a version of this where you have a Velcro suit, or you have something where people throw a ball, you know, and the ball hits. But like, I definitely love the mindset where it's like the splatter. You can see the color of the splatter. Like that is amazing.
I think if you put a Velcro suit on, Copperfield's cronies abduct you and take you to the island, and you're never heard from again. So you better have.
What if you had a bunch of, just for the proof of concept, even, you know, so you can rehearse this without being bruised and battered. You had a suit with exactly Scotty P hit it, water balloons, and the water balloons are all black, but there's paint in each side of them, inside each one of them, and then you can have that hit against your body, and you could do a type of like, almost like I don't know, like the selection process could be interesting if they were marked, or if like you mix them up but they don't bust. Yeah, that's a lot of good.
You know, I'm assuming you could switch the magazine somehow too. Like, I don't know how paintball guns load. I don't know how those things operate, but
they're normally gravity fed, and they have from top down, and so it's just like a bunch of different colored balls that go in. So you could be able to use a single gun. Yeah.
But do they hide? Maybe 3 or 4 of them could be preloaded. And then you say, here, load these up, shake it about, dump them in, and then you've already got a couple in there, you know.
Yeah. You know, you could do a version of it where it's gaffed a la Scott Alexander, where you load a single bullet in, but you don't load a single bullet in. and then you have them shoot you, which would effectively be just a gust of wind, Jack, and then you could have a squib that explodes on your person, and then that way you've got no projectile,
Ooh.
and it is 100% safe because you would just have a squib exploding on your person with different colors coming out that you would ultimately force, and that would be a very good, healthy, safe method. But if you wanted to do this like shirtless, then you're kind of out of luck in that sense. But yeah, but maybe it would be good to do it with like putting on overalls, like like you put on like the ones that you would paint with, full bodied white overalls, and you could also put padding underneath it, so if you did get hit, like like a bulletproof vest in a sense, or some kind of padding, because they do wear armor when you compete with paintball guns. A little something to think about, but I think that's got legs, man, and the idea is dope. But
one more, if you work with stagehands, it could be cued auditorily, so they could just tell you the color. You have an earpiece, and blue.
If you have a blindfold, you can put an earpiece in the blindfold, cover your ears up and your whole head. Another method.
Then you can get a real good blindfold going. Which I think you want for that. Like the peak is bad. You don't want to peak it.
Yeah. And then the other, I mean, just playing with all different options, like the other idea is you could just have 5 different paintball guns loaded up, and they all have their own one color in it. And so it's up to the audience to pick one of them, boom, fire it.
Yeah, now you could do more of a color match style. Yeah.
And you're alerted by which one they picked up, essentially.
Yeah. I like that, Josh.
And the blindfold would be pretty good because the eyewear that you would require in order to be able to pull off the stunt, you would want something truly capable of taking a projectile to it, like a proper goggle is sort of what I'm alluding to. That if it hit the goggle, it would just explode on the goggle. You know what I mean? Like there would be a coverage there. So, but because the cool thing is that if there was nothing in the chamber and you hit this, they would still feel the gas, like doing the pts, like they would still feel a shot is being made. But whether or not a projectile is coming out of the gun, it wouldn't. To them, it would still feel the same, because it travels so fast.
Yeah, it'd be like, how come every audience member can directly hit him every time? Like, how is everyone in America such a good aim?
I'm going to shut my mouth. I had a joke. Didn't want to say it.
Look, don't get me started on America these days.
Nah, I had a joke for that, but I didn't want to say it. Okay.
Well, you wouldn't believe how hard I try to be non-political in my life. It's becoming very challenging.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is perfect timing, Jack Grady, to start doing a color match routine. So nice.
Man.
Good timing.
I like the finale, though. I like predicting the shots. I think I got a win on that one.
Yeah, that's fun. And then you can also play on, like, when you take your shirt off after it all, like there could be another prediction, like the welts have formed into a celebrity's silhouette, or like I don't know.
Yeah.
A number or
anything. Yeah. Fun.
What if there's some way you can make the paint adhere to your body and just do like this and it forms an image, kind of like the ashes on the palm, but the paint sticks, and
then
you got Jack there in all his glory with a piece of artwork. Jack Grady without a shirt is a thing, I think he performs that way most of the time. It seems like half the time I see Jack, he's shirtless. No complaints.
It's a good thing. It's what a real man looks like.
Like Jack Grady?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, he's doing great. And also, like, congratulations on your sobriety and everything else, buddy. Like, it is just great to see you kicking goals and high fives all around. Power to you. So, yeah, I hope that works for you, Jack. I hope some of these ideas were kind of a good one, but I think it's got legs, man, and I love it. Like, the simplicity of it's also really great, and I feel like we're adding ideas that can almost overcomplicate it, but they're good ideas nonetheless. So, I can't wait to see this come to life.
Yeah, it's keep us updated, man. We want to see more of this. It's good times. All right, our next big pipe is from Mr. Tim Raymond. I think Tim. Oh, we got Tim asking in the chat. Tim Raymond, are you here as well? Well, buddy, we're going to play your speak pipe. This came in a little while ago, back when we put out the call, but we had so many guests on, we couldn't really get to this episode. What a good problem to have as a FISM winning podcast. We're going to play this one from Tim Raymond. Let's see what you're up to.
Guys, just had a little idea. I've got some forcing dice from Diamond Jim Tyler. Just
Great dice.
thinking about doing a potential idea where I get some custom made scratchies where there's a prize written under the fifth one, but just getting them so that it's always the fifth, so that then I can use the same dice each time, switching it out. And then my thought as a bit of a comedy gag was to have the scratchy look like it's you win an iPad, but then under the fifth it says it's like a first aid iPad, and then I could pull one out of my back pocket and give it to him. It's a bit of a comedy gag, but would love to hear your thoughts on that.
See, that's interesting. It's a lot of work for the squeeze. Like this, that's a lot of squeezing for the juice. And I'm gonna I'm not shooting it down, but I am gonna say that like the kicker is like the iPad is like the kicker ending and the good idea that it could just be a thing where it's like let's say you were forcing the fifth one, all the choices you can remove one, a holiday to Tahiti, a brand new Porsche, something else, blah blah blah. But you got 5 and you win a brand new iPad. That's great. Here you go, iPad, and it's iPad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that for them to choose a scratchy is like they're choosing a chance to win, and then it's remarkable they won. You know?
Yeah, it would seem like just using the force dice to force the item itself would be a more direct process. I'm not familiar with scratch prizes that give big prizes. That's maybe not like, I know we have scratch offs for lottery, like cash money. Is that a thing in like Australia or maybe overseas?
To my knowledge, Josh.
Do we have what? Sorry, Doug. Scratchies.
You do a scratch and you win an iPad. I've never seen something like that, so it's a weird connection for me.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's only ever a monetary value, unless these are ones you're saying you've made yourself for the audience to give away a prize. But yeah, you can't win. No, the only time you can win physical items is like when McDonald's does like the Monopoly game or whatever.
So my suggestion would be the items are laid down, you use the forcing dice, you end up with one prize, and then that's your prediction, you know. That's how I would approach it.
That's better, because the scratchy is just a mode of getting to the prize winning. It's not really, the routine doesn't sound like it's about the lottery ticket itself.
Yeah, unless it was custom produced for your venue, and maybe you're like, hey, today at Applebee's we're giving away some prizes. You get a scratch off with every meal. This is with your dinner, and you know, here's how you pick what you win. Roll the dice. So that would work.
See, that's fun. If you're now customizing it to help, with the tailored event, that's fun.
Right. Yeah,
I think what it comes down to is, I think Tim really wants to use the new Dices board. So I think that's the main piece here, right? Which is a great idea to use to force a thing rather than guessing what the number is they've rolled, which is what we normally use a dice for.
It makes sense to use dice to give away a prize.
Well, it's a game of chance, and dice is a perfect representation of that. But it's like, to choose the 5th scratchy, does that mean you scratch all 5 scratchies? Like, there's an economy of movement there that's a little bit like you scratch all 5, or you can win one of these scratches one of these scratches has one. It's like, well, why make it a scratchy? I make it only because like the effort, like there's just such a huge amount of effort for the ultimate kicker of the iPad. The squeeze ain't worth the juice. But I think if you're going to do like a TV spot, it might be the type of thing where it's like they win like they bought a scratchy or they won us like an opportunity to win. Like, okay, cool. They scratch it and go, oh, I want an iPad. And then you just do one of those type of things where I'm going to do a bad example of this. Let's say that you were like, this was the scratchy here, and you could just sort of like, there you go, and you pull it out of the actual scratchy itself or something, like you know. But otherwise, I think it would be best just to have this 5 envelopes or 5 boxes or 5 options. There's 5 things there, and when you remove it, it's a sign, a placard that says something grand, something amazing. And an iPad is pretty grand. I mean, that's $1,000 prize, but then you show them it's an actual iPad. And that's a fun moment. Yeah. But I think routine, dope. But to customize scratchies, the squeeze ain't worth the juice. Don't work too hard. Don't work so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Or, you could do a roulette where you put someone's $50 note into an envelope. They roll the dice. You shred every other envelope except for the 5th one. If you're feeling like you're going to solidly... No, just as long as you have a spare 50 to give them if you mess it up.
Yeah. But the main notion is to like push the iPad gag at the end. That's the thing. I think that it's a perfect lead-in, but to have a scratchy so that you could possibly win, because I guess I don't know, or maybe I'm just have this mindset where it's like the scratchy is a guaranteed win, then you do it. Like, but no scratchy should be a guaranteed win, right?
You know what I like more is if the iPad. Sorry, Nick. Did he mention the iPad gag? Or
yes,
that's what you did. Oh yeah,
that's
okay.
the kicker.
Because it's a great idea.
The pillar that we hold up, exactly. So like, let's not make it about a $50 bill going into a thing. Let's make it all about the iPad.
So because I like that. I would use that I would use more of those gags personally throughout the rest of the show. So now I would say, and for helping you get an iPad, and you pull out the pad for the eye, and then the next person that helps, that plays, and you get and then you get an iPhone, and it's just a
Toyota, and it's a little
an
Toyota
eye with a little. Sure, yeah. And so I would do that, like more running gags on just the play on words. That's a fun character,
Yeah. So we have an iPad, we have a Toyota.
An iPhone, it just has an antenna coming out of the eyeball, the little floaty eyeballs.
Yep.
There'd be,
you could also get like a Gen 1 iPad and be like, here's your iPad.
Yeah. You get, and I've got a freebie for you for playing. And you just got the classic bee, sponge bee is a freebie.
Oh yeah, the freebies.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Fun times. That's what I do.
Oh yeah.
Roll with that, buddy. And let us know how you go. If you have an opportunity to film it, and you have a chance to film it, like pop that into the post and roast as well, so we can see what it's about.
Yeah, love it. All right, our last one comes from Caden. Now, he sent this in 2 separate speak pipes, so I feel like this is a lengthy one, which normally you meant to keep it to 30 seconds to a minute, but we're going to let you off because there is only one more. So, Caden, let's see what your story is, bro. I'm going to turn the volume up here. Caden, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, guys. Caden here. I have a question for you. So I had a situation happen recently. I was visiting my aunt, and she asked me to do some magic. And while I was getting things just kind of out of my gig bag, she saw my lucky Ladybug cards. And she asked me what trick I can do with those. So I decided to go into Lucky Ladybug. And she insists on seeing my hands totally empty at any given moment. So I'm kind of having some difficulty trying to get the bug. I end up being able to get it. And as soon as I reposition her hand, she immediately turns it over and sees the ladybug. Now, I wonder if I should have just given up at this point, but I decided to try and keep going with the trick anyway. And so I do the first card, but when I put the card on her hand, she immediately kind of peeks and looks at it and sees that it's not actually a ladybug card and that it's blank. At this point, I actually just gave up on the trick and took the cards back and said, we're probably just going to have to do something different. I'm about to run out of time, so I'm going to finish this in the next one and kind of ask my question.
Okay, that's the setup.
Okay, let me bring.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the setup. Let's see what the
let's see what the payoff is.
hmm.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is Caden with part 2 of my story there. But so I decided to give up with the trick, and she kind of got a little flustered because she wanted to see the trick, and I basically just told her that if she doesn't want to actually watch and enjoy and experience magic, then we're probably just not going to do any. And she kind of got upset with me and said that she was just trying to enjoy it her way and by trying to figure out everything that's happening as it's happening. And I had kind of countered with that and said, well, I guess that's fine, but then if I have a trick like this one, where there maybe was a surprise ending for you, you're not really going to be able to experience it if you're constantly just messing with every little thing. So I wasn't going to do any more, but I ended up doing some other card tricks for her because she asked me to. But I guess my question is, how would you have handled this kind of situation with immediately turning their hand over or then not flipping the card right away? Is there something different that I could have done? That's all. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, thank you for sending it in. I think we can all agree your aunt is a dick.
Oh no. It's always challenging to perform for family members because the social boundaries are not there. You know,
Yeah,
they
that's right.
don't they don't care if they mess with you a little bit, as opposed to someone you've never met before. So that's
No.
the main problem, I would say.
Yeah, and look,
Yeah.
there's this different relationship they have with you. They're all like, "I should change your diaper. I've seen your dick." Like they have this different
Yeah.
relationship with you. They're just like, "I can give you a hard time because it's by nature." What? Okay, so here's from someone who performs Ladybug a whole bunch and loves it immensely. Let me say that, like, if somebody does look at the card and go, "It's gone," you'd be like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "It's gone." Like, where did it go? And then you go, "Oh." And you show that it's on them, and you're like, "Oh, that's I thought I lost it, man." You know? Like, so I play it off as in, like, if it's already gone, like, if they turn the card, I go, "It's gone." "It's what?" "It's gone." "What do you mean?" Like, "Did you lose my ladybug?" Like, I put it on them, you know? And they're like, "No." And then I'm like, "Okay, look around. If you see a ladybug, let me know." And then sometimes it'll be on the back of the hand, but they'll be looking around. They won't be looking at their hand. They'll be like, I'll pick up glasses. I'll be like, "What's the?" I'm like, thanks. No, I can't use this card anymore. So you've ruined. And then it's like, "Oh, there it is. You know what? Why don't you keep it? I'll buy more."
But
You know?
look, if,
Like,
if right out of the gate, if they notice the ladybug, the game is over for that one. So that happened, right?
no, I think that she turned over the card first, from what I heard, but didn't see
She
the
kept wanting
ladybug
to
yet.
see his hands clean. Like she kept being like, right. And then, yeah.
Yeah,
And
which
then she turned her hand over straight away. And then she's checking the cards every single time.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's and here's the
Yep.
thing. It's like, in order for you to experience magic, you need to let me do the magic. So are you going to let me do the magic? Because if you're not, then I can't let you experience it.
Yeah.
That's a very simple line, but it's very important. Like, I can't, like, if you want something, you got to let me do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going
Oh,
to, if I want a coffee and I'm like, "Will you kindly make me a coffee, barista?" They're like, "Yes." And then I'm stopping you from making a coffee going, "Where's the coffee?" It's like, fuck off and let me make a coffee.
Hmm. Yeah.
it's also not the best trick to start with because you need good spectator management. And if your spectator knows that you're in the ballpark of a specific playing field, ladybugs and so on, you're going to be behind. You're not going to be in optimal performance mode. Magic
Mm.
should be surprising for a trick like that. So the best course of action would be, "Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'll show you later." Get it ready, but do something else, and then once she's in the mode, you hit her with that ladybug when you're in a little more control.
Can I share something off the back of that? Where for me, it's like I treat it as something like this is for someone special. This routine. Now, when I say someone special, more times than not, it's like the birthday kid at my residencies and so forth, or just someone who I think is like the most amazing person there. Someone who's like just loving the magic and they're just losing their mind and like spitting their drink the whole time. And I'm like, I got something special for you. Like I'm always just like I'll be back in a minute. I got something real special for you when I get back. And they're like, oh, okay, I'll buy another drink and I'll wait back. You know, so little things that I do to sort of keep the booze flowing over the bar or whatever else. I say keep that notion in mind that it's for someone special. Where if she was like, "What's that?" and I go, "That's not for you. That's only for real special folks who kind of deserve it." No, I want to see. I'm like, nah. So if I was trying to do the treat, I'm like, this is why I said it's not for you. It's for special people. No, I want. I'm like, you don't. I go, you don't deserve it. It's only for really special. You know, like you could say it to them like, no. This is only for really special folks, and it's like, it's not for you. You know, it's not for you. No.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I will
like
share one little story if it helps with anyone. Not to say like this is the method, but like sometimes when I have little kids that are probably too little for me to be doing this trick on, but they are like coherently watching the trick, but they're only like, 5 years old or something. This happened at a birthday party like a week ago. I loaded it on his hand, and this kid's just not used to. He's never helped out in a magic trick before, so he's like, he doesn't know what to do with his hands or whatever. So I get him on the get his hands out, put the cards on, and I load the thing, and at some point he's just like moved his hands, like.
They don't know how to
that I
stay
wasn't
still.
ready for. And he's seen the ladybug, but no one else has seen it. Like he's kind of seen a little bit. And now that he's seen it and I'm trying to like, oh yeah, great. No, yeah, keep your hands here so the cards don't fall off. I can tell he's trying to see what the hell is on his hand. So I actually took it off without anyone realizing that this was happening. I registered that he now feels like he has something on him and he's trying to check what it is. So I just steal it off as I like move his hands over. And because I know he's going to try and look. So when he looks, I'm like, oh, are you okay? Like, let me hold the cards for you. And he's like, all right, should we do the trick? Okay, cool. Yeah, put your hands back. And then I reload it back on. And now that it's reloaded back on, we can like get through the trick. Because he was just a bit fiddly. But that's the only real advice I've had in the real world in terms of people not going along with it. But as Nick and Doug said, like it's kind of like you'll know the right moment when to do it, and a person who's trying to not play along or play with your rules is not the right person.
Yeah. And also like it's the type of thing where like it's not really a privilege she's paid for. Like she's asked for it and she might be demanding it and something like that, but it's just a privilege they've paid for. Like you don't owe anything to them. Like you get to sort of stand in that position. Like
what about this? What is a good effect for someone like that? Like what foolproof thing is better for that kind of audience member?
Here's the sort of thing. If okay, I'll get back to my point later, but like, so the thing, if you're going to hit someone like that, right, you're going to be in a situation where what are the sort of things that they can do? Like we're talking full narcissist vibe. What sort of things can they do to ruin your show? They can say, that's not my card. They can say, like, I can't say many times where like they've chosen a card, they're holding the ace of spades, and then I go, show everyone, it's the 5 of hearts. I'm like, why would you hold a smoking gun? It's the dumbest thing you could, like, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. Like, who do you think that you're fooling here by doing that? You know what I mean?
This prop is great for that. Make a commitment and have them name a card.
Yeah.
Any card. And then it's the 52 on 1. So it's a direct opener for an impossible situation. What could they be suspicious of? And then after they name the card, you bring out the brainwave or the invisible deck. So it alleviates any speed bumps for them screwing around with you.
Yeah,
they get a fun moment.
Perfect solution, indeed. But it's just that. But it's that type of thing where it's like you got to figure out what are they going to do. Like, what's the worst they can do? They can lie. They can this. They can that. How do you combat that? Boom. something where they call it, you brainwave it, awesome solution. They sign a card, then they can't say that wasn't my card. I'm like, that wasn't your signature.
Yeah.
You didn't sign it, and they can say no, and you could be like, you're just the type of person who would be unhappy in heaven, straight up, because you have no other intention. Straight up, they have no other intention other than just being miserable. And it's like, that's cool. You could be miserable. You go be a narc. Go for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm only here to make you smile. You know? And these people, like in the real world, my guy, you're not going to experience them like the way that you experience your aunt. You'll experience these people 1 in every 100,000 performances. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Siblings, family members, are not going to react and interact the way that they would normally in the real world. And, she's your aunt, so you could just start crying. Be like, I'm going to tell my mom. She's like, okay, no, I'll stop.
It's remarkable how those people can dull your sparkle. We, most recently, Josh and I were performing Theater of Magic, and you met Toby for the first time, who is the guy who helps out our usher, our everything else. An amazing talent, right? Doesn't like performing, but loves magic and has an amazing skill set. Guy hasn't done magic for 7 years because of a relationship he was in. Because she was killing his sparkle. Like she was just destroying. Like whenever he wanted to work on stuff, be like, would you kindly choose a card or whatever else? Like she was just totally crushing. And you can see Josh, if you're watching live, you can see like this awesome card spring that Toby does. Like he's just got this mad skill set. And so he's now doing like our photography and our this and that. And I'm got him back in this realm, but this guy has got such mad skills. He's got shin limb hair. And it's just remarkable what happens when people like that can dull your sparkle or try to like crush what you love. And Caden, like this is like the way he would have dealt with it. I don't think he did anything bad at all. People let him ruin it for themselves. Those people are selfish enough that like they don't even care how it makes you feel. You know, like you're trying to give them a gift and they're going to pull it back. And you think that, and I think that it hurts you a little bit because this is an elder. This is a family member that should be looking out for you and showing you love. I had an aunt pass away last week. You know, she was great and I love her to bits. And, like I remember all the things she would say to me, like growing up and those sort of wonderful things. And like her sister as well, like she calls her Aspromo, which is my star. Like even though I was a kid, she used to call her my star. And now like I am one on stage. You know what I mean? Like it's like she knew I was going to be on that before I did, and I think about writing routines with respect to her because that's the sort of love I get from my aunts and stuff. Look, man, like that's the reason why it hurts and feels kind of crappy. But in the real world, you're not going to experience that. And if you are, keep this in mind. You're in control. You have the power. You can say no. And when people demand things, come and do this, come to that. And I just say that when people say, well, I want you to blah, blah. I'm like, bro, calm down. All right. You want to start making demands in my world? Wave a 50 at least. And I'll think about what you have to say. But until then, like, don't make demands in my house, man. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then I get back to my work and I just shuts him down. It's like, oh yeah. Like who the hell am I to be demanding things from you? Like you don't own me. You didn't pay for my privilege.
It's so funny, man.
Welcome to another episode of The Magic Hose.
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that because that'll literally be my heckle line is they'll say, oh, show them the one where you blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, sweet. Yeah. $50.
Yeah.
And then I'll just let them turn themselves down. Just as simple as that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd love to hit Alex's question as well. This is a really good one for magicians doing gigs out there. And I've got thoughts. Alex says, if someone wants you to stay past your allocated finish time, how long will you go before you feel like you've overstayed your welcome? And then Scotty P follows up by saying like, yeah, how long would you stay after a gig in general, or do you leave straight away? So both things are.
You leave straight away and you've got another one to get to. You should always dress like you have somewhere better to be. And that when you have to go, it's like, if you can stay, you can go, do you want me to do another hour? Or no, just stick around, have a drink with us. And I'm like, yeah, I don't, people think that like, oh, I'll pay him for 1 hour. Then he's going to stay here and drink with me for another 3. I don't get to sit and have a drink. I don't drink. Against my religion, whatever it might be. Like, it doesn't matter. She's like, no, no, thanks. Or you might have one just to maintain a nice friendship. But if you have nowhere better to be, fair enough. But it is the type of thing that if they are, you go like, look, you know, you could say like, I've only got this much time before my next one. Is another way you can get out of it. You know, because most times they might say like, stay if you want to stay and have a drink. Oh, that's very kind. Thank you very much. Yeah, but also stay fully loaded and keep doing magic. Yeah, get out of here. You know what I mean? Again, privileges you pay for.
That's a grizzled veteran's answer. We look
Yeah.
at Scotty P responding. He'll stick around an extra 20 minutes because he's having fun. And, you know, maybe we haven't done 1,000 gigs and don't have somewhere to be and would be happy to share our magic for 3 days if they want you to move in. And, you know, there's different answers for this. It doesn't have to be
There
about money and bolting out of there. You can just hang out if you want.
I think I have
It
one
depends.
good answer.
Yeah.
I think I have one good answer for people that might find this option useful. I was listening to the Diary of a CEO book. Obviously, it's a wonderful podcast, but he brought out a book just summarizing all the best nuggets within it. And so I've read the book, but then I'm also listening to the audiobook because I just love consuming it. And there's a chapter in the book called The Psychological Moonshot. And it's when a company or business does something that really doesn't do anything, but psychologically to the customer, it feels like they've done something amazing just for them. And the example he gives is this guy has a barber that comes to his house that always does his hair the same time every week, same appointment. And he's used him for like 6 years because he really feels like he pays lots of attention, right? It's like a 40-minute appointment. They get along, they chat, everything. And then one day the guy gets the haircut and the guy's like, yep, you're done. And he couldn't help but feel like he'd been rushed. He's like, so he checked his phone and he's like, oh, it's been the exact same 40 minutes as always. But why does it feel like you rushed my appointment? And then he checked in the mirror. He's like, oh, my hair actually is done. Like there isn't anything out of place. So he said to the barber, he's like, how come everything's fine, but how come I feel rushed? Like you've done a quick job on me or something. And then the barber bursts into laughter and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to do my little end of routine thing on you. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I'm so sorry about this, but like what I do for my clients is right at the end, I just say, oh, let me just do one more final check. And he'll like pretend to snip like little pieces here and there as if like he's really taking care. And he admits to him that I actually don't cut any hair then, but it's just to make you feel like I've really paid attention. And him not doing it actually made him feel like he had shortchanged him. So learning that, what I now apply into my gig is I do the one final check. So I say thank you to the client. I'm like, look, I can't believe the time's gone so fast. Thank you so much for having me. Like, I show them a quick thing if they didn't see magic, because sometimes they won't.
Yep.
I'll say, look, don't worry. I'm going to send you all the footage from my Meta Ray-Bans. That's a separate convo, you know, so you can see the compilation of everyone reacting to magic. Blah, 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 blah. Do you want to stay for a drink? Oh, no, it's okay. You know, I got to watch how much I drink because I get to do so many wonderful events. But before I go, let me just do one final check to make sure I have seen everyone. And then I'll email you tomorrow. And they're like, oh, thanks so much. And then I will just walk around the room and I'll just find one group to do one more thing to. And then now they feel like, oh, he has finished, but he is actually doing one final check to make sure he has seen everyone.
Love it. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've already said goodbye to the client. So once I've done that extra thing, because I too will usually allow for an extra 20 minutes of me being at the event because it's just what happens, you know, because you're talking to the client afterwards or networking with that one person that does want to get your card and you chat to them for a bit. So I found that to be super helpful. Let me just do one more check just to make sure I've seen everyone. But look, thank you again for having me. I can't wait to be back again. I'll email you tomorrow so you can come see my show at the Theatre of Magic, blah, blah, blah. And you just do one more walk around, find one group, boom, and you're done.
Absolutely. And it's so important that, it's always good to, like, when you arrive at these gigs, to ask somebody like, hey, is there anyone in particular that's like super important? Because I always try to save something special for them. And then you explain to them that you're doing this and that. And if you do stay a little bit longer, you might be like, hey, sorry, my time's up. Sorry, I stayed a little longer than I normally do. I was having a great time. Oh, you did? Yeah, I was hanging out with CEO, spending time with him. And they just go, oh, you were? Great. No worries. Like, it's just, if everything's going the way it's supposed to and you're feeling welcome and you're not overkeeping your stay, wicked. And all you do is that whoever who booked you on the way out, you say, oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, I finished 15 minutes ago, but I've been having such a great time with you guys. Sorry, I don't want to overkeep my stay. No, you were amazing. Thank you so much. We don't mean to keep you. You have a great time, blah. So apologize and say, thank you for having me for that extra time. As long as the vibe is there and you're welcome, that's great. But as long as you're not sort of injecting yourself or feeling, more important, like you're being held back from where you'd rather be, those are the sort of entities you got to think about.
What
All
can
right,
you say?
speaking of overstaying our welcome, my pizza showed up 10 minutes ago. Can we wrap this up so I can go eat with my wife?
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.